Good morning, afternoon, depending on your hemisphere or your time zone. Welcome to being here. You're just feeling your way into what is it to be here. And notice you don't have to reach out to get to here. Here just is here. You notice the generosity of the world. It just shows up moment after moment. Notice in meditation it doesn't even ask anything in return. It just keeps showing up, showing up, showing up. We keep showing up, showing up, showing up. One of the cool things about meditation is it's a sort of a safe place to take the risk of what if I stop efforting? What if I stop doing whatever the things are that I think I need to do to hold the world together? Whether that's changing my thoughts, changing my heart, changing other people, getting that last speck of crumb off the kitchen counter, getting everything. What's it like if you stop trying to get everything right? Looks like the gang's all here. Take a look around the boat. If you don't have yourself on gallery view, maybe put yourself on gallery view and look at the the companions that we've all arrived here to be together, whether we realize it or not. Whatever you think it is that brought you here this morning, I don't know, maybe that's what brought you here, but I've been brought a lot of places before for reasons I thought I understood, and then I get there and you never know, maybe just brought here to see the faces. I have to wonder every time I do something like this, first of all, what am I doing? And why am I doing it? I had kind of a great conversation with my dad last night over Pete. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. And we went out for a Father's Day pizza and beer adventure last night, and we were going to drive to a lookout point so we could look over. We're in Hawaii, and so we could look over the Halema'uma'u crater to see Kilauea, which is bubbling and erupting and stuff. And then couldn't go there, it was packed, and then went somewhere else and couldn't go there, it was packed, and went somewhere else and couldn't go there, it was packed. And so we just ended up sitting in our car in the rain, eating pizza and drinking Coronas, and hoping that the park rangers wouldn't notice that we were drinking in our car, which was kind of cool. It's like, felt like being 16 years old again. But we had a conversation about he started doing Zen probably about the time that I was born. Just like, what drives you into meditation practice? Well, having a child, actually good reason. He's also running a business, a very busy business at the time. And I was his second kid, and so 2 kids, running business. Yeah. But we were talking about when when you see through all the striving, what's it like when you see through all the striving? And he doesn't really practice. He doesn't meditate really anymore. He doesn't go to session, doesn't do any of that stuff. And what's it like, which is easy to see for me as somebody who's like fairly involved in the practice and like at some point I thought, oh, he fell off the wagon, you know, he left the fold, whatever it is. But I think for him, and I can feel this as we were talking, something had been extinguished. The need to achieve something, the need to get somewhere, to escape the cycle. It's kind of where we're at today. Samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth, the endless changes, the wandering, the seeking, the thirsting, the burning, the how do we get out of this thing? And I love that story and the little description for this thing about Guanyin, the bodhisattva of compassion, she's trying to get everyone out of the hell realms into nirvana, and she tries so hard to understand the suffering of everyone that her head explodes. And so Amitabha Buddha comes and gives her 11 heads, like, here, you just need more hardware. I'm just going to give you a better processor or something. And then she understands it. And then she tries to do something about it and her arms explode. It's just like, I kind of like that. Like and so he gives her 1,000 arms, each one with a different tool, a different, I suppose the Sanskrit or whatever Pali word, I don't know, would be upaya, the skillful means might be one way to see those tools. There's whatever it is, meditation, there's this, there's that, and you can see that through all the different forms of spiritual practice throughout the whole world, really, all these different skillful means it's all about how do we not suffer, I suppose. And there's some sense that there's something going on that's larger than my little sense of me, right? I mean, I think everyone here's probably got that, or else you wouldn't be here. And you probably tasted some of that. Maybe you're there right now. I don't know. But So we were talking about that last night, and how so much of that has fallen away for my dad. And I think I'm in that period of like seeing those things falling away too, that striving and that wondering about. And I'm a relatively new teacher, so I've got things about what does this mean, and what kind of person do I need to be in order to wear it, and what's my job description, what are my duties, or whatever it is. And shouldn't I be at session right now? Isn't that where I ought to be if I'm going to be a teacher? And I don't know, maybe, but I'm here. So there's something about that. But well, can I just trust where I am? Because I don't know. And I've got all sorts of reasons about why I am where I am. Well, I didn't go to session because we just moved to Hawaii, and I'm working on building my business and my son and finances and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. It's a story I tell myself, and it's good enough. It's good enough for on the pickleball court when somebody asks me what I'm doing with my life. I can tell them, well, I'm blah, 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 but I don't really know. And it's kind of a small explanation for a big life. And so when things start to fall away, it can be really scary. I feel like, well, what if I don't live up to whatever the thing is in my head about being a father, being a teacher, being a husband, being a whatever it is? And what if I don't? There's another thing we were talking about is, well, when that sense of striving falls away, sometimes it falls away in pieces or in the different silos of life. Like I might stop striving so much at work, or I might stop striving so much in my marriage, or I might stop striving so much in some other area. And sometimes it just falls away all at once. Everything falls away. Just kind of like that's kind of the Kensho thing. You go, oh, who is it that's striving anyway? I don't know. And so, well, it just kind of falls away on its own. And what is life like that? It gets incredibly vivid. I think that's the thing for me. It gets incredibly vivid and intimate, and somehow I can start seeing other people and things for what they are. And even if I don't, like, each person is a 30,000-foot precipice, someone said. I don't actually know what anybody else is, but you kind of cop to that. Stop thinking I know. Well, this person is this, or this person is that, or they do this because, or whatever it is. I do this because I am this, I am that. So there's that. And then, I don't know, I stopped messing with the world so much, trying to arrange the circumstances just so, which I think is about, that connects with this six realms thing, the six realms of the Tibetans really illustrated it nicely. It's kind of funny because it started out as the 5 realms, apparently. And then at some point they decided there were 6 realms. So I don't know if they discovered another one or if they just decided to slice the people. They thought, well, even numbers are good and whatever it is. So it's kind of great. And then each of those realms is subdivided into like 31 different sub realms or 23. So it's like, you can tell people have been working really hard at figuring this stuff out. And kind of comes from the Indian tradition, I think. They've got like an engineering model for the universe. They've got it all figured out. And you've got the 6 realms: gods, demigods, humans. Those are supposedly the 3 good realms, or the 3 fortunate realms. To be born into one of those realms is like, hey, good for you. And then the 3 bad realms, or some people call them the evil realms, animals, which, I don't know, look at my cat, like taking a nap over there, and went, I don't know, he doesn't look too evil to me, but hungry ghosts and the hell realms. And so the God realms are like, so I'm let me just preface this by saying I am no Buddhist scholar. I just recently, so I was talking to somebody and I thought, oh, we were talking about his anxiety, and I said, oh, that's a kind of hell realm, isn't it? Because he gets, oh, just the worry just overtakes him and like burns him and crushes him. I thought, oh, that sounds like a hell realm. And I thought, oh, hell realms, that's interesting. That's a Tibetan Buddhist thing, isn't it? And so I looked it up and I went, oh, this is great. The 6 realms, so cool. And so I've just recently sort of gotten interested in it. And it's the God, so some of you may know more about it than me. The God realm is like the one of eternal pleasure, which doesn't sound too bad. But also with all that pleasure comes attachment to the pleasure. So there's always another side of the coin. Right? And there's a kind of disconnection from the heart, I suppose. That's like how, in a way, that's one of the fundamental things about Zen and the bodhisattva thing, is that we're connected. Why can't the clear-eyed bodhisattva sever the crimson thread? We are in the world. We wake up in the world. We support others in waking up in the world, in the world, in the world, in the world. So there's the God realm. There's the demigod realm, which is like characterized by anger and jealousy and constantly warring factions, which is a bit like the Greek gods, but people are murdering each other, and they're always giving the humans a hard time. They're creating trouble and giving us illnesses and natural disasters and stuff like that. So I don't know what it must be like. And so as I'm describing each of these, you can, like, here's the thing, the 6 realms as a koan, right? So what's it like? Have you been to the God realm? Have you been to the demigod realm? And what might that be like in your life? What moment might that be like in your life? And so for me, I can remember lots of times where maybe I just particularly come back from retreat or something at this really deep place. Whoa, the world is just alive and there's no barrier between me and anything else, and blah, blah, blah. And And I come home to my wife, who's been taking care of our son while I've been gallivanting off at retreat. And she's just, looks haggard. And so, like, she's had a rough time. She goes, "Do you know what happened while you were gone?" And, I'll give some obnoxious response like, "Well, it's all emptiness," or what, some shit like that. Like, nobody, that's not helpful to anybody. "Well, dear, if you'd only," so there's that kind of like, there can be incredible opening, but there's also this inflation and the alchemical process that is associated with this sublimatio, which is into the air, which is wonderful and elevated, and you've got the 30,000-foot view, but when you're up there, people look like tiny ants. It's kind of hard to relate to an ant. And so there can be a real callousness about that. There can be, but also there might not be. There can also be an incredible warmth and inclusion. But so anyway, even the good realms have their flip sides, right? And then the demigods is like, I was thinking about, well, this is the realm of politics, right? Just pushing people around, trying to get power and anger and jealousy and kind of ego run wild mixed with incredible power. Politics might be a place like that. Might also not be. But you can see it in yourself, right? Whatever it is, the jealousy, the anger, the warring, the throwing my weight around, that might be. And we'll skip humans. Maybe we'll come back to humans. The animal realm is one of the evil realms, one of the unfortunate realms to be reborn into, because it's all governed by just desire and instinct and impulse and all the basest things, which, I don't know, sounds a lot like when I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm tired, I sleep. I don't know. But like, I notice that if I get very anxious about something, the way my body just does its own thing, that old lizard brain takes over, and it shakes and it quivers and it has to go to the bathroom and the mouth gets dry, and I just don't have any control over that, right? That would be a place for me about the animal realm. Or this morning when I woke up before I had my coffee, that was like animal realm. Oh, just coffee, whatever it is. And the hungry ghost realm is a particularly interesting one too. That's the hungry ghosts. The image of the hungry ghosts is that they have these little tiny mouths and these enormous stomachs, so they can never get enough of whatever it is that they're seeking. It's this kind of endless striving to fill the void, and so they're always unsatisfied. You can see that too, the craving, the desire, all of that. And then the hell realms, which could be anything. What would be a hell realm for me? And I was actually, in my conversation with my dad last night, we have disturbingly similar parenting styles and or reactions to parenting anyway. And he was talking about being on a family vacation with my mom and me and my brother. And I think he said he was sitting by a pool. It's like beautiful setting. And just all the pressure and the anxiety and all the resentment about I'd rather be doing something else, and the stress from the trip. He just felt, he said, I felt like I had to get out of there, but I couldn't. Was absolutely trapped. I think, oh yeah, I know that place. And what's kind of cool about the hell realms actually is that there's a bit of resonance there between the hell realms and Tartarus in Greek mythology, which is like the place where the really bad people go in Hades. But Hades is just the underworld. Tartarus is like hell. So you get people like Sisyphus, who's been his punishment for, I can't remember what he did, but is to push that boulder up the hill, and then it always rolls back down again. pushes it back up, rolls back down. So it's this kind of eternal struggle to achieve the unachievable. And Tantalus is another good one. I can never remember what got people at the Tartarus. I can only remember what it's like when they're there. But his thing was he was like waist deep in this clear pond, spring pond, and he was damned to be eternally hungry and thirsty. And he had a fruit tree right above him. Every time he'd reach up to get a piece of fruit, the tree would withdraw, so he couldn't reach it. Every time he'd bend down to take a drink of water, the water would withdraw, so he couldn't drink it. So it's just kind of constant. And so there's a kind of the interesting resonance, that thing about wherever you end up is in some way a result of your karma. Just kind of, so whatever hell realm you end up has something to do with the circumstances of your life, and it's easy to think of it as this kind of moral thing, but you've been a bad boy or bad girl, and so you're going to hell, and you were stingy, and so your thing is when you're in hell, people are always going to be taking things from you, whatever it is. Which is, I don't know, that's a bit too like puritanistic for me. I think there's a kind of beauty in the karmic thing about this is the thing about actually the universe is endlessly generous. It keeps bringing to us the thing, whatever the thing is, right? Whatever the barrier is. And in Zen, barriers are gates. So that's the fortunate thing. It keeps bringing to my door whatever the thing is. And so what might it be for me? Well, like one of my things is I'm a big people pleaser, getting better at it. But, and so I tried for a lot of years to get everybody to like me, or to figure out what I thought everybody might want, and then try to be that, which is actually not that hard in a one-on-one setting. But when you get into a group, it's absolutely maddening, because you gotta be like managing what you imagine other people want. There's like 12 people in the group. And so I just drank a lot. That was helpful, the most helpful thing at the time, actually. But to be confronted time and time again with that proposition, and then as I got older, sort of the pressure of who I actually am, which is still working on who that is, but would start to press up against that. And so there's this pressing down and sort of like bringing in this persona to impress other people, but then there's always the reality of who I am pressing up. And it might be the reality of what I want, what I think, what I feel, could be any of those things. And so that's like that endlessly generous thing. The universe is always seems to be putting me in positions to sort of, encouraging me to take more of a risk about that. What do you want for dinner, Jesse? I don't know, whatever you want. What do you want to do today? I don't know, whatever you want to do. And it's fine if I really don't care, but then 2 hours later, I notice, I actually did want to do something, wasn't listening to myself. So anyway, that's the thing about the kind of, and then I would find myself in a hell realm of resentment. That might be one place I found. I didn't want to go to the beach today, but I got dragged to the beach or whatever, like gorgeous beach, kids playing and laughing and sparkling blue water. I want to get drawn to the beach, So first of all, you don't get to have the blessing of the universe. And the other thing is like, well, if you didn't want to go to the beach, you should have said you didn't want to go to the beach. So it's this funny thing. And so there's this like avoidance of reality, I think, is one of the things. And it could be as simple as, what do I want to do today? Or it could be something more like, what do I want for my life? I'm talking to a lot of people right now who are in the middle of that question, which I really love. What do you want for your life? Some young people who are just getting out of college, trying to figure out, well, what do I do now? And a lot of people coming out of kind of difficult relationships where they compromise themselves for sometimes a lot of years, 10 years, 20 years, and realizing, wait, this isn't actually what I want. Other people who are retired or freshly retired going, well, now what do I do? I've been an ER physician for 35 years. Now what the hell do I do with my life? And a particularly difficult position being in something like an ER physician, because it just, like, for this person, it just took over their life. That's all they had time to do, which is in a way kind of a strategy to hold off life in the first place. Right? If I've got some job that takes up all my time, I don't have to grapple with the question of what do I want. Then to be in that place of, well, what do I want? To be vulnerable to that question, which is intimately tied and inextricably linked with the question of what do I not want? Important. So we've got the 5 realms. We've got 3 happy realms, 3 positive realms, which I don't know, doesn't sound that positive altogether. And then the 3 evil realms. And the human realm is one of the good realms, or the fortunate realms. And it's considered to be the most fortunate realm to be reborn in, because for whatever reason, we have sort of the greatest capacity for awakening as humans. We're not just all blissed out on, euphoric in the God realms, and we're not completely trapped in delusion and pain in the hell realms. We've got some capacity to notice what's going on in our lives and have a practice, and to got just enough power of awakening, but also just enough suffering to light the fire under our asses, to sit down on the cushion or go to sesshin or whatever it is. Those 6 realms. And so the thing about the freedom, all beings are free throughout the 6 realms, is like in Zen, there's not a thing about you work really hard in this life and you get reborn in a better realm. It's all right here. There's no freedom is available in the hell realms, available in the God realms, it's available in and in a way, it's just the acknowledgement of that endless generosity. The universe is always showing up, always showing up. Makes me think, I got thinking a lot about Dongshan. A lot of the Dongshan koans came to me, which is kind of interesting. And his thing about he was down by the river washing his bowls with someone else, and his friend saw the 2 crows fighting over the body of a dead frog, tearing it to bits and clawing at each other. And the friend said, God, why does it always have to be this way? I don't know what realm that is. The demigod realm. I suppose that's the animal realm, isn't it? Fighting over the body of a dead frog. If that's not the animal realm, I don't know what is. Why does it always have to be this way? Dongshan just said, it is only for your benefit, honored one. Only for your benefit, honored one. So that's that thing about, it's not about when you don't have to get the crows to stop fighting over the frog. They bring it to you. They bring you. So the guy, Qing Shui, is that what his name was? I got it here. I am Qing Shui, solitary and destitute. Please give me alms. And Xiao Shan said, Venerable Shui. Qing Shui replied, yes, sir. Xiao Shan said, you have already drunk 3 cups of the finest wine in China, yet you say that you have not moistened your lips. Solitary and destitute. Maybe it's time to sit. Let's do that. Taste some of the wine, the finest wine in Colorado or Chile or San Francisco, wherever you are. One cup, 2 cups, 4. Another one was Dongshan, which is one of my favorites. Someone came to him and asked, when the cold visits us, how should we avoid it? The cold visits us, how should we avoid it? Dongshan said, why not go to the place where there is no heat or cold? Well, where's the place without heat or cold? When the heat comes, let the heat kill you. When the cold comes, let the cold kill you. Lots of other words could be used there. Let the cold conquer you. Let the cold dissolve you. Let the cold love you. Let the cold embrace you. And so whatever realm you find yourself in now, or, let's just work on now. Whatever realm you find yourself in now, let it meet you. Albert Camus has that interesting quote about Sisyphus. Each atom of that stone, each mineral flake of that night-filled mountain in itself forms a world. Not so different from Zen. Each atom of that stone, he pushes up the hill again and again, each mineral flake of that night-filled mountain in itself forms a world. The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart, or a woman's heart, or a non-binary person's heart. Enough to fill a being's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Throughout all 6 realms, all beings are free. When the heat comes, let the heat burn you. When the cold comes, let the cold freeze you. Is Hakuin's praise song for Zazen. All beings by nature are Buddha, as ice by nature is water. Apart from water, there is no ice. Apart from beings, no Buddha. How sad that people ignore the near and search for truth afar, like someone in the midst of water crying out in thirst, like a child of a wealthy home wandering among the poor. Lost on dark paths of ignorance, we wander through the 6 realms, from dark path to dark path. When will we be free from birth and death? Oh, meditation. The Zazen of the Mahayana. To this, the highest praise. Devotion, repentance, training, the many paramitas all have their source in Zazen, in meditation. Those who try Zazen even once wipe away beginningless crimes. Where are all the dark paths then? The Pure Land itself is near. Those who hear this truth even once and listen with an open heart gain blessings without end. Much more those who turn about and bear witness to self-nature that is no nature, go far beyond mere doctrine. Here, effect and cause are the same. The way is neither two nor three, with form that is no form. Going and coming, we are never astray. With thought that is no thought, singing and dancing are the voice of the way. Boundless and free is the sky of awakening, bright the full moon of wisdom. Truly, is anything missing now? Nirvana is right here before our eyes. This very place is the lotus land, this very body, the Buddha. Those are your meditation instructions. So whatever realm you find in yourself, it is only for your benefit, honored one. It's all for you. So you can just have it, taste it, feel it. If you find yourself in the hell realm, be a demon. You find yourself in the realm of the demigods, be angry and spiteful. The goal of Buddhism is to leave the constant transmigration across the 6 realms, to stop the cycle of death and rebirth. And I don't know, it's pretty beautiful. It's incredible. Get to be a demon one moment, a god the next, a human, an animal. It's like an incredible buffet. It never ends. One should imagine Sisyphus happy. There's a couple of haiku from Basho. It was with awe that I beheld fresh leaves, green leaves, bright in the sun. It was with awe that I beheld fresh leaves, green leaves, bright in the sun. The passing spring, birds mourn, fishes weep with tearful eyes. The passing spring, birds mourn and fishes weep with tearful eyes. Rid of my hair, I came to Mount Kudokami on the day we put on clean summer clothes. Kudokami means black hair. Rid of my hair, I came to Mount Black Hair on the day we put on clean summer clothes. Everyone wants to leave the endless changes, but when we finish bending and fitting our lives, we come and sit by the fire. It's Dangshan again. Not deciding it is or it isn't. You have the courage to be at peace with it. Everyone wants to leave the endless changes, But when we finish bending and fitting our lives, we come and sit by the fire. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but my son's just like having a field day down there, guys. I don't know what he's so excited about, but there he is. Somebody said, maybe it was Hart, I don't know who it was, said that when you have a child, you become a child. Yeah, Eduardo.
When I look back at my life, I see times in which striving was needed. There were other times in which striving was not needed. Times in which effort is needed, times in which effort is not needed. And the beauty is having the freedom to agree with what's needed in this moment and do what's needed, striving or not striving. I'm starting to recognize that. Thank you.
Somebody said, I don't know who it was, somebody said freedom is not doing what you want. It's like the freedom to do what you must. Something like that. I didn't understand that for 20 years. I didn't understand that. And suddenly I did. Whatever it is, I must strive, I must not strive, I must be angry, I must be whatever it is.
Perhaps the right word is appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill and Mike.
Was as you were talking, I was thinking of spending 12 hours yesterday trying to please somebody in San Francisco, and just moved to a new place and fucking built a shed behind me in my place, and all the things I've done to try and make that shed go away. And he's angry all the time because I'm so OCD. and, no. And then and it all just melts, right? When I listen to you, just melts, and it's like synthesis, right?
And then if I could just say regarding striving, we're on the other side of striving. And so I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to volunteer. And so I start looking at all the ways to volunteer. Oh, that one's not quite right. They don't do good things, or I'm not suitable for this. And suddenly volunteering becomes a strong chore as to how am I going. We carry it wherever we go, really. Or in the garden, for instance, which they can't even talk back to me, that I'm orchestrating the plants, like, I'm telling this one to play this way and that way. And before I know it, effort is different than striving.
No, I like that. Nice. We were using a term not too long ago at some sort of leadership thing, the verb to self, or selfing, which is like the striving, the arranging, the managing, sometimes effort. Like if I'm going to put in a gate for our house, it's going to take a lot of effort. I have to dig a hole and like put the posts in and mix the concrete and all that. But effort without striving, yeah. I like your delineation between the two. And also that there can be freedom within the striving. We've got a great koan about them. People go to wild places searching for their true nature. At such a time, where is your true nature? Where is your Buddha nature? In the old translations, would people go to abandoned grassy places looking for their Buddha nature? At such a time, where is your Buddha nature? People torture themselves being OCD in their meditations, searching for their true nature at such a time. Where is your whatever it is? People read stacks and stacks of Zen books, looking for their true nature at such a time. Where is your whatever it is? What else? Anything else? And, you know, so you just look into your heart, and if there's something to say, then you can say it, and you have the courage to decide. You know, you have the not to decide whether it is or isn't. You have the courage to live that way, to just say what's in your heart. And if there's nothing in your heart to say, then that's okay too.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about freedom. And years and years ago, I did for one of my professional trainings, I had to kind of interview a family from a different culture and write up about it. And I wrote up about an Indian family where marriage was arranged. And I remember my tutor wrote, the comment on it was, "Can you choose duty?" And I honestly, this was way before I practiced any Zen. In fact, I'm only just realizing now. I mean, I used to wonder about that for years and years and years. I used to like go over that over and over that. And I remember asking her about it once, and of course she'd completely forgotten. She couldn't, you know, she didn't recognize herself as having asked that question at all. But I kind of felt like what we were just saying about freedom, that it was right there in that freedom, the freedom to choose. Yeah.
My duty is to be a hungry ghost right now, or my duty is to whatever it is kind of great. You know? And you notice, like, if you do, like, I remember sitting in, this is kind of one of the great things about a session or a long retreat or something, that whatever it is that comes up in your butt, like for me, I have a lot of physical pain, and along with all other kinds of pain, but like a lot of physical pain. And at some point, you just have to, if you're going to keep sitting, you have to give up on, you rearrange. You notice, like, if you look around a Zendo, at least a PZI Zendo, throughout a retreat, you'll notice like people's cushion arrangements change throughout the session to try to get the pain to stop, to try to get more comfortable. And at some point for me, I just noticed I stopped trying to arrange the pillows in a certain way because the pain was just going to be there. And then at some point that stops being a problem. Well, that's as they say, aching knees, the taste of zazen. But yeah, it ceases to be a problem. And then strangely, a lot of times the pain will lessen or go away after there's just so much resistance to pain in my body. And there's but I don't know, that's one of my hell realms, just to be in physical pain. So, yeah, Sylvia.
You got me, Jesse, when you said, if your heart's full, say something. I was like, okay. I was just thinking the whole time when you're talking, honored friend, just about, like, right now in my life, it's all about consistency, and then at the same time, like, letting go or letting it be. And every now and then, like, the realm of demons comes to visit, and then the realm of gods, whatever, comes to visit. It's just awakening is a possible human trait, just as being caught in the causes and effects is the same. So it's this you know, maybe my new job is kind of showing up in my life and just reminding me that it's good to be there with it's like it has to do with psychosocial work. So it's good to be there with families who are going through such seemingly what they think, and it does look that way, that they're going through such troubles and worries and refugees, call it family members that are having a member who's going through some sort of trauma. So I'm kind of being there. I don't know why, but I'm being there, just listening. And it's supporting me as much as I don't know what I'm trying to do, but it's just, you know, that thing when you say, the minute you realize you're giving advice, you're not. So, you know, it's just, it's everyone just being the honored person, you know, going through whatever they're going through. I'm just thankful, you know, that I'm able to consistently be there and then let go, you know, like just, so yeah. What a ride. Like, you know, it's like, what's going on? Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And I think that is like, that's one of the things if we're going to be like, Jizo is a guide to the underworld, and particularly the protector of mothers and children, and you've got to know something about the underworld yourself if you're going to be with people in the underworld, right? And if you know something about the underworld yourself, you know that somebody's saying, just think positive, or why don't you get more exercise, or whatever, is like, in a way. And that actually can be very helpful. I mean, I know I feel better when I get more exercise, but just like you're saying, can I just be there and accompany people? So there's that whole side. Like, I think that's just what you're talking about is the bodhisattva path, right? And
Oh, is it?
what's that?
No, I just said, oh, is it? It's
Oh,
just,
is it? Yes, that's actually that's the correct answer.
yeah,
You just showed
I
your
know.
your certification, bodhisattva certification. Oh, am I? Oh, because there's there's a kind of true humility about it. I'm just
That's,
actually
yeah,
not doing. I'm just showing up with people.
yeah. Just having a taste of it,
Mm,
you know, it's nice.
nice. That's wonderful. Thank you. I like that you kind of like, that's one of the ways that you can, we've all got to like, if you're going to be helping people, you kind of got to go through the thing where Guanyin's head explodes and then her hands explode. You think, oh, I just need to get more whatever. But just like you're saying, there is a way to be there without, that's the attachment thing, right? I can't tolerate being here with you. I can't tolerate you being there. So I've got to, and then you get your hands exploded enough times and you just stop trying to manage everything. No, thanks. Thanks for doing that work too. Yeah. Anyone else? We got any demons in the room who want to say anything about being a demon or a hungry ghost? Or I found myself in a hell realm on the pickleball court yesterday. So I played a couple of good games and then I got really tired and I just really wanted to keep playing, but then I started playing terribly. And like, I think the 6 realms are not, some people say, well, the 6 realms are like real. That's actual cosmology. And then some other people say, like Trungpa said, the 6 realms can also be just metaphors for psychological states. And there's that. And I think, I don't know, why do you need to divide it? do you have the courage to not decide it is or it isn't? But I was in hell on the pickleball realm, and everywhere I looked, there were demons, and they were all, I could see this one guy, Robert, an older guy who's like really good. I really wanted to impress him, and I was very intimidated by his skill, and his Ecuadorian accent just like made him seem like he had more like authority in some way. And I could just see in his face across the pickleball court that he thought I was a terrible player, and he was criticizing every move I made. And you, Robert. I went up to him after. I did this weird move where it was like I went up to him afterward and said, "So, did you see anything I need to work on?" Because he's sort of giving other people tips, and he goes, "No, it looked pretty good to me." Just my own little hell realm there. You notice that whatever realm you're in, the psyche will recruit it will recruit the entire universe to play out that drama for you. Whether it's politics or your family or the pickleball court or that like people who don't like have any sense of how much room they're taking up in the aisle in the grocery store. Like the aisle is wide enough for 3 carts and somehow I still can't get past you. And so you go, well, there's the demon out there. It's kind of great, actually. It's like full 3D with including smell-o-vision, whatever realm you're in. So, Don, were you reaching to unmute yourself? Did you want to say something? Okay. I wasn't quite sure.
Yes, thanks so much. This is so helpful about the realms, especially them being states or things that we could just spend different time in. I've always struggled with the idea of the realms because they seem like real places, and that's never been the point. But I was kind of laughing to myself because isn't it so typically human for us to decide that the best realm to be in is the human one? And I was thinking, you know, your cat probably imagines that the best one to be in is a cat, you know, which is to say that whatever realm we're in is probably the best one to be in. Because that's where we are. You know, what else are we going to do? You know, just to kind of, well, okay, well, I guess this is where I am, and that's part of it, because you know, that's the suffering that we put on top of the suffering, so to speak. It's like, okay, this shouldn't be happening. Well, you know, it's always more helpful to say, or at least more, I guess, maybe skillful or whatever way you want to call it, but to just be okay with where you are.
Really nice. I like that, even if that means being okay with not being okay where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Yeah, thanks. I think it is helpful too to like, it's kind of nice to have a model or to have an image for where you are. And it's nice to be able to identify the image, to go, oh, I am in a hell realm, because in some way that might be informative about what the next step is, you know. And it's kind of cool. Like I might think I'm in a God realm, but actually I'm in a demon realm or something. And to go, oh, you know. So to your point, Don, to act appropriately according to the realm you're in, it's kind of a fun, well, I don't even know what that means exactly, but you know, like if I'm in an animal, like, I don't know, that's one of the big pitfalls, I think, of spiritual practices is a misapprehension of what realm we're in or what part of the story, what part of the myth we're in. Because I might think I'm in a God realm, but actually I'm in a demon realm. Or like if I'm in an animal realm and it's all about eating and fucking and going to the bathroom and all the like the basic kind of thing. But you know, it's good to know that, to not be in denial about whatever realm you're in. And also, I don't know, for me, there's some degree of peace that comes with that, or comfort that goes with that, of just recognizing, oh, I'm in a hell realm right now. And the other thing is that, like, you know, from your own experience, that every realm is transitory. Right? It's like one of the basic tenets of Buddhism. Everything's moving and changing, and you're moving from realm to realm, and so that's helpful to remember too. Yeah, and sweet. Scott chatted something. Could you please repeat whatever realm you're in? ... The universe ... I don't know. Was that something I said or something somebody else said? Or oh, whatever realm you're in. Yeah. Well, the universe sort of organizes itself around that, or is organized around that. So if I'm in a hell realm, I look around and see demons. If I'm in a God realm, I look around and you might look around and see the same. Oh, I am a God among gods, or I am a God among demons, or I'm a human among animals, these filthy animals. You look around and everyone else is just driven by these base desires. And I think I'm so much more enlightened than they are. And so anyway, the universe will play out on the stage in a way, whatever realm you're in. And then also your misunderstanding about whatever realm you're in will also play out. There will be discrepancies. Others may not agree that you're in the God realm when you're in the God realm, or that you're, I think I'm a God and other people think I'm an animal, or whatever it is. Just, that's how wars get started. Mary Kate, I see you're unmuted. Did you want to say something? No. Oh, I can't hear you anyway. Are you good? Okay, cool. I guess it's time for us to end anyway. We don't have any musicians today. I don't know. How do we get out of here? How do we get out of this realm? Eduardo gives it. So maybe that's just it. I don't know. I don't feel the need for, I know the 4 vows is sort of our thing, but I don't feel the need for that. I think we're there. And maybe we'll just take a moment. Feel the realm you're in. The other part that I didn't say anything about is the bardo states between realms. There's those as well where you're not in any particular realm, you're waiting for rebirth into the next thing. But here we are. So thanks for being here with me, and John and whoever else is still in session today will be back next week. And if anyone wants to stick around for a Q&A thing or more discussion, I'll stick around. And if not, enjoy your Sunday.